Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and today I'm bringing you the third episode of my grab bag series. Now if you're unfamiliar as to what this is, it's basically a video where I take 6 different Pokemon and show you some interesting and unique sets that you might not have seen before. They might be good sets, they might be bad sets, they might be gimmicky, creative, whatever. Basically anything is up for grabs, which is why this is a grab bag. So why don't we just jump right into it. For my first Pokemon that I'm going to be showing you this time, we're actually going to be taking a look at Electabuzz. Now, I've always loved Electabuzz. I've loved him more, or her, I guess, more than Electivire, because Electabuzz actually has higher base speed than Electivire does. A lot of people don't know that, but that's just something that I've come across in my, researching of different Pokemon and stuff like that. But, the reason why I am showing you this set is because it goes pretty much against what normal Electabuzzes do. So what a normal Electabuzz is it's basically a special attacker, but he actually has a very good physical move pool, as you can see the vast amount of physical moves that he has right here. So I wanted to explore that a little bit, and with that exploration I basically get the set that you see right here. Now originally I had Meditate as the move to increase your physical attack, but because Meditate is only a 1-stage increase, and because his physical attack isn't really that great to begin with, being only 265 with a Jolly Nature, I figured I would look for an alternative, in which I found the move Screech. Now, Screech is a move that decreases your opponent's defense by 2 stages, so essentially it halves their defense, which is really good, and a better alternative in my eyes than using Meditate. And so with that, I gave Electabuzz a Life Orb to increase its damage output, because as I said before, its physical attack isn't the best, and Life Orb is one of the best ways to increase your physical damage. Also could work would be Expert Belt, and if you want to be a more defensive variant, you could even go with Eviolite, because that does actually work on Electabuzz, because it does have a higher evolution. But with the move Screech, I decided to give it the coverage in Wild Charge, Ice Punch, and Cross Shot. Now there are a lot of variations you can do with these 3 moves, namely the first being you could substitute out the Wild Charge move with a Thunder Punch, mainly because Wild Charge does have recoil, so recoil plus Life Orb recoil may not be the best thing in mind for you when you're using this set, so you could obviously, just take this out and switch it up with Thunder Punch, which will work just as well. It's a little bit less powerful, but you take less recoil, so that's another option. Also, instead of Ice Punch, he also has access to Fire Punch, so that's another coverage move you can go with. And if you want something a little bit more accurate than Cross Shot, you can just go to Brick Break, even though it's less powerful. But basically this is the idea behind the set. A physical Electabuzz uses Screech to lower your opponent's physical defense by 2 stages, and then attempts to deal physical damage. And the reason why I think this set works very well is because he or she, depending on the Electabuzz, this one's female, is normally seen as a special attacker, as I might have said already. So an opponent wanting to deal with Electabuzz might switch in a special wall, in which they will be greeted by a Screech and then a physical move, which is basically the exact opposite of what they wanted. So it's pretty surprising and can work pretty well, and it's just something you might want to try out, a little bit of a variation on Electabuzz. Up next we have a Donphan. Now, what I've normally seen Donphan as being is a Rapid Spinner, a Stealth Rocker, something with really good priority, an Ice Shard, and also has the access to a very powerful Stab Earthquake. But Donphan, like most ground and rock and steel type Pokemon, gets access to the move Rock Polish, which if you don't know is a move that increases your speed by 2 stages. Now this move has been amazing for a lot of these slower rock and ground type Pokemon, because before this move came out, most of them just had to deal with the fact that they weren't going to outspeed a lot of different threats in the game. However, with Rock Polish, they can increase their speed by 2 stages, essentially doubling it, and thus allowing them to be very potent attackers, generally physical. But I've never seen a Donphan use Rock Polish before, and so I figured I would just, showcase this set really quickly. Basically, this Donphan has an Expert Belt to deal, increased damage, as opposed to a Life Orb, and I will get into that in a second as to why I chose that, but with the Expert Belt and the max physical attack, max speed with a Jolly Nature, it has Rock Polish to boost the speed, as I said before, Earthquake as its main stab move, Stone Edge for secondary coverage, and Seed Bomb for also more type coverage, mainly against things that might try to come in and take you out, like grass types or you know, anything else that water types, or anything else that Seed Bomb might be really effective against, because he doesn't really get a lot of other different moves. I guess he gets the Fangs, he gets Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, and Ice Shard. So those are other options, but I thought Seed Bomb was the most unique of the three, so I figured I'd show it right here. But the reason why I think this set works particularly well is because of the ability Sturdy. And because of Sturdy's new mechanics this generation, you will always survive one attack. So, because you'll be left with 1 HP, it's basically a focus sash that you will always have. And so with Donphan, you will always essentially get a chance to set up Rock Polish if there is no like switching in entry hazards like Stealth Rock or something. So you'll be at full HP, you can set up Rock Polish for free even if your opponent takes you down to your Sturdy because you have that ability, and then you can proceed to attack more with your attacking moves, I guess. So the reason why I said Expert Ball before over Life Orb or something like that is because of the Sturdy ability. And if you are running Sturdy, you don't want Life Orb to basically kill you off as soon as you Rock Polish if your opponent does take you down to the Sturdy ability. Also, that's why I opted for Stone Edge as opposed to Head Smash, which he does learn, which is way more powerful, but it does add recoil, which with, being at 1 HP, you're going to kill yourself. So that was the reasoning behind those two moves, or those two decisions in the set. But nevertheless, this is a basically Rock Polish Donphan. You don't see it too often. Might be something you want to try out to shake things up a bit. Up next, we have a Suicune. And this is a really weird Suicune. I kind of based this off a set that I saw a really long time ago. I think Xenon did it with Frostlass. But basically, Suicune has access to the combination of Swagger and Psych Up. And if you've never seen this before, basically it's a confusion move that increases your opponent's physical attack by two stages. Now, because they have that increased attack, you can go for Psych Up and thus giving yourself a +2 boost in your physical attack. And so Suicune, normally seen as something that Calm Minds, could, essentially boost its physical attack this way by using Swagger and Psych Up. Also, there's that option of them hitting themselves in confusion while you do this. So, for me, in making this set, I realized also that Suicune has access to the move Extreme Speed, which I had no idea it learned. And so I figured with this kind of set, I don't really need speed because I'm going to be having access to a super prioritized move in the form of Extreme Speed. So basically, I went with a more defensive spread. So I have 172 EVs for your hit points, 80 for attack plus an Adamant Nature, 128 for physical defense, and 128 for special defense to give you some very nice, well-rounded bulk while also making your physical attack really good after the +2 boost from Swagger. Now this set can be extremely annoying for another reason, in that you have access to the move Waterfall, and Waterfall has that added chance of flinching, so if you are faster than your opponent, you could get some confusion flinching going on between Swagger and Waterfall, and a lot of other different options. But basically, this is something very unexpected. I don't expect any of you to actually use this set. I just thought it was really interesting. Maybe some of you will want to try it out, but it's basically just something that I thought of. I wanted to throw it out there, whether or not you use it or not. But it's just another idea that I wanted to share with you all. Up next, we have a Girafarig, and I love Girafarig. I just don't know why, but I just love this thing, even though I know it's not that great. But with this set, I wanted to make use of a couple of features that Girafarig has that are not a lot of other Pokemon do. Mainly, it has the ability Early Bird, which hardly ever gets used to, in a really creative way from what I've seen. And it also gets the new move Echoed Voice, which is something that I will explain as I go throughout this set. But basically, the EV spread for this is a max physical defense, max HP with the leftover 4 EVs into speed, and a bold nature to give you your highest physical defense possible. I think I might have said attack before. Max physical defense. And then leftovers for that added recovery as you do this. But basically, this set sets up with Calm Mind because Girafarig gets that being a psychic type and all, And by having max physical defense and HP, you're basically getting the best of both worlds in terms of defenses. So you already have high physical defense and HP, so then you're increasing your special defense as well as increasing your special attack because of Calm Mind's boosting of both those stats. Now the thing with this set though is you get the coverage with Psychic as your main stab psychic move, and then you also get Echoed Voice, which since Girafarig has the really weird normal psychic typing, is a stab move, meaning the Echoed Voice, normally being 40 base power, is now 60. So that's really good because that'll help it increase power every turn faster because of the stab. And basically Echoed Voice, if you haven't seen it used before, it's a move that is kind of like, I believe, Fury Cutter, where it gets progressively stronger the more times you use it in a row. And since you're Calm Minding to increase your special attack more, Echoed Voice can become insanely powerful if you get a bunch of Calm Minds under your belt and can use Echoed Voice a few times in a row. The last part of this set is the move Rest, which in combination with Calm Mind, boosting your special defense and having high, defenses with the EV spread, is really good because that means you'll be surviving a bunch of attacks if they're obviously not super effective. Obviously you don't want to stand on something that's super effective, but because you have the ability Early Bird, you're actually only asleep for 1 turn because of Rest as opposed to the normal 2. So with this you actually essentially get a full health recovery move, but only 1 turn long as opposed to the normal. So it's essentially like Wish, but without the but you get the recovery on the first turn as opposed to the second. And that's really great for Girafarig, especially with Early Bird and this set. So this can be a very threatening special attacker after a couple of Calm Minds. Echoed Voice can become insanely powerful, and you also have that option of resting off the health, only being asleep for 1 turn because of Early Bird. And I really like this set a lot, so I suggest you try this out. Up next is a set that I promised somebody that I would do for them. A YouTuber by the name of Mega Puchiana sent this to me, or used this against me in a battle I had on PO against him, and it's a really unique set. If you want to check this out more in depth, the way he explained it, you could check out his channel. I believe it's just by Mega Puchiana, and you could look up Lopunny as also in the search bar as you do this. But basically the idea behind this is using the combination of Copycat and Circle Throw. Basically what this does is Copycat uses the last move used in battle. So with Circle Throw, since it's negative priority, it will always be the last move you use in battle. So basically, after you use Circle Throw once, you can Copycat it, and because of Lopunny's really high speed, you can essentially use Circle Throw with regular priority, making use of Lopunny's speed, and constantly shuffle things out without really ever worrying about it. The only problem with this set, and he also recognized this in this video, is that you can't really do much against ghost types, but if you can just get rid of those, you won't really have a problem doing this. I'm not going to get too explanation-y with this set right now because you can just check out his channel and do it, but basically max HP, max speed, Cute Charm ability, Lumberry, Copycat, Circle Throw, Return, and Encore. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. And if you want to check out more, as I said, go look at his YouTube channel. But lastly, I want to take a look at this Whimsicott because it's basically another version of what I did with Electabuzz. The thing about Whimsicott, though, is it is freaking fast. Like, it is one of the fastest Pokemon, but nobody knows that because they always abuse the Prankster ability to, do that whole subseeding thing. But since I'm running out of a little bit of time in this video, I'm just going to try and go through this really quick. Special attack is maxed, speed is maxed, timid nature, life orb. Fake Tears is there to decrease your opponent's special defense by 2 stages. Fake Tears is really good in this set. A lot of people don't know or don't use Fake Tears at all, but it works really well paired with Life Orb because you do have Giga Drain. So even with the Life Orb recoil, you're basically gaining HP anyways because of the Giga Drain. And with minus special defense, this is going to be gaining a lot back, or a lot more health back than normal. Hidden Power is Rock because that gives you really good coverage because you're a grass type, so most things that are super effective against grass can be hit for super effective damage with a rock type move. And then Psychic is also there for the poison coverage if you ever run into that. I chose Infiltrator as the ability because it goes past Reflect and Light Screen. But this is just a really cool set to try out. Whimsicott can be a very, very good special attacker with this set. If you don't want to use Psychic, you can use Stun Spore with the Prankster ability as kind of a last-ditch effort before you're about to be killed off. And that's something that I found to be very effective as well as an alternative. But that's it for this video, guys, so I hope you enjoyed, and take care, and goodbye as always.